So today we're going to learn how to make a 3D Game Boy with a pull-out game. For this game you're going to need to know how to do the peyotte stitching. So if you don't know how to do that, go and watch my peyotte stitching tutorial and then come to do this. So yeah, to start off this tutorial we're going to use this. We're going to start off with the first layer. There are 3 layers. We're going to start off with the first layer, which is the top layer. And the color I'm using, it's going to be all red. Okay, and then, so let's start off. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is, for this first layer, I always like measure, just, I don't know, the base layer, I can't. You have to cut the string separately, so cut a long enough piece of string, about yay long, okay? Just like in peyotte stitching when you first start off. And you're going to put on 2 red beads, like that, right? Because you know how to peyotte stitch, right? And you know this is going to be confusing. Then you're going to get the 2 strings, put on 1 bead, and then you have the 2 strings separate again, put on 1 red bead on one string, 1 red bead on the other, and then you're going to pull it down so it's looking like that, right? And then you're going to put a bead, another bead on both of the strings, right? Because we're peyotte stitching. We're going to keep doing that until we have it's 11 beads long, okay, in width. So okay, so when this layer you're making is 11 beads wide, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make sure you pull the string on this side, hold this side right, make it tight, and then you should look like that right now, and then you're going to tie it off.
Only in your mind, Miss Mark. What do you want? What my client wants. His freedom. He's been in jail 3 times. His next at-bat's in 2 weeks. Support his application.
Okay, so now you have this, right? And we're going to start we have 2 layers right here, right? I guess you could count that as 3, but pretty much we'll just call this the base layer. So we're going to start weaving through the base layer, just like we're making pretty much a regular cuff, right? So you're going to put a string through the end of this bead right here that's at the end. And you're going to put on 1 red bead, string through the next red bead, just like you're making a regular cuff, right? Put on another red bead, string through, put on another red bead, string through, just keep doing that until the string's coming out the other end of that layer.
The canons of ethics material cannot represent one client if he's limited by his responsibilities to another client, unless his client consents.
Okay, so now it looks like that, right? And then this layer is going to get a little different because we're going to start getting to the buttons, so it's not going to be all red. So let's see. So see, right now we're at this part right here, and see on this layer when we come back around, we're going to put a black bead right there, and then it's going to be red again. So we're going to put on a red bead, okay, and string through that red bead like that. Shouldn't be hard because you guys know how to do peyotte stitch. And then when you get to there, this is going to be pretty much the right side of the Game Boy, left side of the Game Boy, so we're going to start making the little plus button. So we're going to put 1 black bead right there. And then the rest of that layer is red beads, so just put on your red beads. Sorry, I'm a little sick-ish. Getting over being sick. Okay, when you get to the end, don't forget to keep pulling on the string on this side. It should look like that, right? You're going to need to put one more red bead right there. And then you can tie it off. So just to make this easy, we're going to start right here where the plus sign is, so you can keep track of it. So you have that one black bead right there, the string coming out through this side. We're going to put on another black bead, string through the black bead, black bead,
it was his strategy to let it stand. An effective strategy. If he wanted his client convicted. That's ridiculous. He believed Mr. Munoz belonged in a hospital.
That. Stick a red bead on in the middle. And then you're going to have another one of the buttons, I think it's B, at the bottom. So the B button, put on another black bead. Wouldn't that be cool if I used letters? Yeah, but you know, sometimes the square letters kind of like mess it up. But that'd be funny if you had like a B here and an A here. See, there's an idea you can use. But sometimes when you put the letters in, you know how it kind of makes it stick out a little weird, so we don't do that. So we just have the black, one more red. So that's what it's looking like, the layer. The pattern for that layer was black, black, red, black, red. And then we're gonna go around this way, put on another layer. So red. And this layer is pretty much just red beads except for the one black bead that finishes off the plus sign. Okay, and then you're coming to the end of that layer, right? Tie it off. Tie it one more time.
Mr. Munoz confessed to the crime. He's already served 30 years. He served a little R&R.
Alright, so now we're at something that looks like this, right? Check, make sure your proportions are right. If you need to look at the picture, go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're at that right now. Okay, and then on the next two layers, you know, because we're doing this in like 2 layers, is just going to be the A button, pretty much, right? So the A button goes right here. So it's going to be all red and then one black button at the end right here for this layer. I'm watching Law and Order, listening to it. Wonder if you guys can hear it. I don't know because my camera's really weird and doesn't play back sound, so I can never really measure the volume. I'm rambling again. Sorry, guys. Okay. Black bead. Right there. And then the next layer is just going to be all red. Yep, all red. Okay, so then the next layer is going to be all red. Okay, so just do that. And then the next layer we're going to start making that, we're going to start the outline of the window. Okay, so we have that one red layer, right? And then we're going to come back around this way, and the pattern's going to be red, and then all the ones in between are black, and then another red at the end, and then we're going to tie it off. Now we have this, right? Okay, and the next layer is going to be all black, okay? And then the layer after that is going to be red, all clear, red. But let's just start with the first layer. So we're going to put all black. Okay, right? So we're at black, all black, and then the next layer, is going to be red, and then the ones inside are going to be clear, and then red at the end, tied off. Tie it off. Okay, so now that's where we're at, and the next layer is going to be black, clear, clear, clear inside, black. Okay, let's see what the next layer is. So we're going to put on black, all clear, black at the end of this layer. So we have a black bead there, straight through, clear, clear,
I never told him. He was married.
clear, black at the end. Okay, see now we're at here. The next layer, we're gonna come this way, right? String. It's gonna be red. Fill it in with clear, 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 clear. Red at the end, tie it off. Alright. Okay, tying it off.
Such a big game is so small. You want to experience the big game, big way? Get a big TV.
Okay, so now we're at there. Okay. Looks like that. We're gonna keep going. String through that red bead. Black, all clear in the middle. Okay, so now we're at like this. Black, all clear in the middle, black. Then we're gonna go back this way, right? We're gonna have red, all clear in the middle, red, tied off, like we've been doing.